Every online scam explained. Phishing scams. You're scrolling through your inbox when an email pops up. It looks exactly like it came from your bank, right down to the logo and a subject line warning your account has been suspended. That's phishing, and it works by impersonating a source you already trust to get information you'd never give a stranger. The email or text usually pushes urgency, a locked account, an unpaid invoice, a security alert. So you click without thinking, landing on a fake login page. The moment you type your username and password, the scammer owns them too. Phishing isn't limited to email anymore either. Smishing arrives by text message, and vishing comes through a phone call, often from someone claiming to be a fraud investigator at your bank. Imposter scams. Imposter scams work through phone calls. The person on the other end might claim to be from the IRS, the Social Security Administration, or even a relative in distress, and they all rely on the same emotional lever: fear, urgency, or both. Caller ID spoofing makes the number look legitimate, sometimes even matching the real agency's actual phone number, which is exactly what makes people drop their guard. From there, they start making things up like they're writing a fairy tale. It's best that you hang up and call the organization back using a number you looked up yourself. Remember, a real emergency can survive 30 seconds of checking first. Fake shopping scams. As the name suggests, when it comes to fake shopping scams, the site usually takes payment for a package, and it would all be perfectly fine if it weren't for the fact that you'll never actually receive what you ordered. If you're lucky, you'll get a cheap counterfeit. If not, you'll end up empty-handed with someone else having your card details. By the way, you'll probably see a countdown timer when you visit the site, but the thing is that it's almost never actually counting down to anything. The reviews on the page are often fake too. In the end, if a deal feels too good to need real customer service, that's worth treating as a red flag rather than a bonus feature. Delivery or text scams. A text arrives claiming your package couldn't be delivered due to an unpaid customs fee, complete with a tracking number and a link to resolve it right away. The timing makes it convincing, since most people have something in transit at any given moment, and a quick tap feels easier than digging through old confirmations to check, so you pay it. That link usually leads to a page styled to look like USPS, FedEx, or UPS, asking for a small payment to release the package along with your name, address, and card number. The fee is always suspiciously small, usually just a couple of dollars, precisely because a small number feels easier to approve without thinking twice. What gives it away, if you look closely, is the math. Real shipping carriers don't typically ask for payment by text message, and they definitely don't need your full card number to hand over a box that's already paid for. Job scams. Job scams prey on something almost everyone has felt at some point: the relief of getting hired faster and easier than expected. A recruiter reaches out, often over text or a messaging app rather than a real hiring platform, offering a remote position with vague duties and an unusually generous salary. The interview, if there even is one, tends to be a quick chat instead of a real screening process. Job titles tend toward the vague and grandiose, things like brand ambassador with a salary that would normally require a graduate degree nobody bothered to ask about. Once you're hired, you're either asked to pay up front for training materials that never get used, or sent a check to deposit for company purchases with instructions to wire part of it back. Tech support scams. A pop-up takes over your screen. There's a warning sound that claims your computer is infected with multiple viruses, alongside a phone number to call for Microsoft support right away. If you did panic, you fell for the scam like a child whose mom said the park is closed today. Whoever answers will sound calm and technical, walking you through installing remote access software so they can diagnose the problem, which really just hands them control of your computer, often after announcing they found exactly 47 viruses, a number that sounds scientific purely because it isn't round. From there, they might charge a few $100s for a fake repair, install actual malware while pretending to remove it, or simply poke around for financial information while your cursor moves without your hands on the mouse. Crypto investment scams. Crypto investment scams tend to start slow, almost patient, which is exactly what makes them effective. Contact might come through a dating app, or a wrong number text that turns into a friendly conversation, long before money comes up. Eventually, the conversation shifts to an investment opportunity, usually a trading platform that looks polished, complete with a dashboard showing your balance steadily climbing. This particular flavor of scam has earned its own nickname: pig butchering, a grim reference to fattening someone up financially before the slaughter. Early on, scammers often let victims withdraw small amounts successfully, just enough to build trust, before encouraging larger deposits. And the moment you try to withdraw a significant sum, there's suddenly a tax or fee standing in the way, each one requiring another deposit to unlock. Romance scams. You get a new match on a dating app and it all seems almost perfect, except the person on the other end is living overseas for work or is being deployed somewhere with unreliable internet. Weeks or months go into building real emotional intimacy. The scammer will invest his time for months before any request for money shows up. Profile photos are almost always stolen too, frequently lifted from a model or an unsuspecting service member who has no idea their face is running several long-distance relationships at once. When the ask finally arrives, it's a medical emergency or a visa fee that doesn't let you meet in person. Either way, it's something urgent enough to justify skipping the questions you'd normally ask, so make sure you do ask, just in case. Social media giveaway scams. There is a big chance you've stumbled on a scam like this, possibly today. Social media giveaway scams use posts claiming a major brand or a celebrity is giving away free phones or gift cards. They say that all you need to do is comment, share, and click a link to claim yours. They lie. The account behind it often uses a slightly altered handle, since swapping a lowercase l for a capital L is a typo a real brand would never make. Clicking through typically leads to a form asking for personal information, or a request for a small shipping fee that hands over your payment details. And don't trust the comment section, even though it's filled with other accounts excitedly claiming they already won. It's a part of the setup. Account takeover scams. Account takeover scams usually start somewhere you never see, like a company you forgot you had an account with. You have no idea, but your email and password ended up sitting in a leaked database. And since plenty of people reuse passwords, one leak can unlock a chain of accounts far beyond the original breach. Once a scammer is in, the first move is often changing the recovery email to lock the real owner out before anyone notices. A hijacked social media account then becomes a tool for scamming friends, usually with a message claiming an emergency and asking for a quick transfer from someone the contact list already trusts. There's a strange irony to how this usually gets discovered. For example, your friend texts asking why you need $300 for a phone stolen at an airport you've never been to. If you don't want to explain these kinds of things, just use strong passwords and two-factor authentication, as a stolen password alone usually isn't enough to get in if a second step is required. Sextortion scams. Someone slides into your DMs or inbox, things get flirtatious fast, and before you know it, there are intimate photos or videos involved. Sometimes, sextortion scammers use real photos, while other times they'll make a deepfake stitched together from your social media. Either way, it all takes about the same time you spend on microwaving a burrito. Then the tone flips. Suddenly, you're being told that unless you pay up, everyone in your contact list is getting a very different kind of notification than happy birthday. The scammer's real product is panic. They're betting that shame moves faster than logic, and for a lot of people, it does. The accounts behind these messages are frequently overseas operations running the same script on hundreds of targets simultaneously, which means your personal crisis is somebody's Tuesday spreadsheet. Fake app or malware scams. Type a popular app's name into the App Store and you'll often get several nearly identical results staring back. The one that isn't quite official is sometimes sitting right at the top, complete with a similar icon, a slightly misspelled developer name, and a suspicious number of recent 5-star reviews. The developer names are usually a small comedy of errors on close inspection, the kind that takes about 4 seconds to notice and saves considerably more than 4 seconds of cleanup later. Downloading the wrong one can install anything from intrusive ad software to outright malware capable of reading text, tracking location, or draining a bank account through hidden subscription charges. Others request an alarming list of permissions for an app that has no reason to need them, like a flashlight app asking for access to contacts and the microphone, which is the digital equivalent of a stranger asking to borrow your house keys to fix your sink.